Have you ever stood at the edge of giving up? Maybe everything felt heavy. Maybe you told yourself, I can't do this anymore. If that sounds familiar, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about something we all face at some point, the moment we feel like giving up and why we shouldn't. Let's be honest, life is not always smooth. Sometimes things go wrong no matter how hard we try. We study hard but fail the test. We work long hours but don't get the result we wanted. We put our heart into something and it still falls apart. In these moments, giving up can feel like the easiest option. Why keep fighting when nothing is working? That feeling is human. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're tired. You're overwhelmed. And that's okay. But here's the truth. Every person who's ever succeeded, who's ever created something great, who's ever changed their life, they all felt the same way. The difference? They didn't stop. Or, even if they did pause, they came back. Quitting feels easy because it gives us a break. But the price of quitting is often regret. The what if questions never really go away. What if I tried one more time? What if tomorrow was the day things would change? These questions can stay with us longer than the pain of pushing through. Let's look at a real story. You probably know the name J.K. Rowling, but what many people don't know is how many times her Harry Potter manuscript was rejected. 12 publishers said no. 12 times. She was told her book wouldn't sell. She was a single mother, living on welfare, barely making it. But she didn't stop. She sent that book out again and again, until one person finally said yes. The rest is history. Or take Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. He failed more than 1,000 times before he made it work. When someone asked him how it felt to fail so many times, he said, I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the spirit of never giving up. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to continue despite the fear. These stories remind us that the road to success is full of failure. But failure doesn't mean the end. Sometimes it's just the beginning. Now, not all victories are big. In fact, the most powerful kind of persistence comes from celebrating the small wins. Maybe you didn't reach your goal yet, but you showed up today. Maybe you only wrote one page, but that's one more than yesterday. These small steps build strength over time. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see anything at first. It's quiet under the soil. But something is happening. Roots are growing. The seed is building its strength. And one day, it breaks through the ground. That's how growth works. You might not feel it right away, but if you keep going, it will show. It's okay to move slow. It's okay to rest. Just don't quit. Rest if you must, but don't give up. So how do you hold on when everything in you wants to let go? One way is to remember your why. Why did you start in the first place? What did you dream about? Who do you want to become? Go back to that reason. Write it down. Say it out loud. Keep it close. Another way is to take things one step at a time. When the journey feels too long, just focus on the next small action. Not the whole mountain. Just the next step. Drink some water. Go for a walk. Send that one email. Do that 5-minute task. These tiny moves create momentum, and momentum keeps you alive inside. Also, talk to someone. Don't carry it all alone. Sometimes just sharing how you feel can lift the weight off your shoulders. You're not alone in this. Someone out there understands. You just have to let them in. Most people think success means never failing, but that's not true. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey toward it. Every failure teaches us something. It makes us stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's coming next. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall so many times. They trip, they bump into things, they land on their bottoms. But they don't think, maybe walking isn't for me. No, they get up and try again, and again, until one day they walk. That's how we all learned. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we forget that failure is just feedback. It's not final unless we make it final. Sometimes we're so afraid of failing that we don't even try. But not trying is the biggest failure of all. Because at least if you try, you have a chance. You can learn. You can grow. You can surprise yourself. So the next time you fail at something, don't say, I'm not good enough. Say, I just learned something I didn't know before. That mindset can change your whole life. One of the most underrated strengths in life is consistency. It doesn't sound exciting, I know. It's not as dramatic as a big breakthrough or a sudden victory. But showing up day after day, especially when it's hard, is what builds real change. Success isn't always about doing amazing things once. It's about doing small things again and again without giving up. Whether it's writing a page, exercising for 10 minutes, or practicing a new skill, those daily efforts matter more than you think. They build habits, and habits shape your future. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, your effort is not wasted. Seeds don't grow the moment you plant them, but they're growing. Something is shifting inside you every time you keep going. You may not see the results right away, but trust me, something powerful is building under the surface. So even if you're tired, even if today feels pointless, show up. Just for a little while. That's how progress is made. Quietly, slowly, but surely. Now, let me be clear. Not giving up doesn't mean burning yourself out. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is rest. Take a break. Recharge. A pause is not the same as quitting. Imagine a long-distance runner. They don't sprint the whole race. They pace themselves. Sometimes they slow down. Sometimes they even stop to breathe, but they don't leave the track. They rest, and then they run again. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to feel tired, confused, or discouraged. But promise yourself this. Don't quit on a bad day. Bad days will pass. Sadness will pass. Fear will pass. But if you quit, you might miss out on the breakthrough that was just around the corner. So be kind to yourself. Take care of your body. Talk to someone. Cry if you need to. But after you rest, come back. Try again. No matter how lost you feel, remember this. Your story isn't finished yet. You are still writing it. Every day, every hour, with every choice you make. Just because one chapter is hard doesn't mean the whole book will be. Think about your favorite movie or book. There's always a low point, a moment where everything seems lost. That moment is what makes the ending powerful. Why? Because the hero doesn't give up. They fight, they learn, they grow, and eventually they rise. You are the hero of your story. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep turning the page. So if no one has told you this today, let me be the one to say it. I'm proud of you for trying, for staying, for showing up even when it's hard. You are stronger than you think. You've made it through hard things before, and you will do it again. If you're listening to this right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Just pause for a second. Inhale, exhale. Feel the air move through your body. You're still here. And that means you haven't given up, not completely. That's something to be proud of. Sometimes, life doesn't change all at once. Sometimes, the light at the end of the tunnel is small, faint, maybe even hard to see, but it's still there. And every step you take brings you closer to it. Even if that step is just getting out of bed or taking care of yourself for one more day. There's no shame in struggle, no shame in falling down. The only shame is in thinking you're not allowed to try again. Let me tell you something. You are allowed. You're allowed to begin again as many times as you need. You're allowed to start over at 20 or 40 or 60. Dreams don't expire, and you are never too far gone to come back stronger. Even in the darkest night, the stars are still shining. You might not see them right now, but they're there, just like your strength, just like your hope. Before we end this episode, I want you to carry one thing with you. You're not alone. Somewhere out there, someone else is fighting a similar battle. Someone else is tired, uncertain, scared. And maybe, just maybe, someone is looking at you, finding courage because you didn't give up. So keep going, keep walking. Even if your steps are slow, even if they're shaky, keep your heart open to the possibility that things can change, and they will. And if you ever forget how strong you are, come back and listen to this again. Let it remind you, you are powerful, you are worthy, and your story is still being written, one page at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying. And above all, thank you for not giving up. Until next time, Take care of yourself. You've got this.